All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Well. Peace and blessings and citation to the hopeful elect, the Bayath, Dawadah, the House of David. So this is going to be a quick one. All right, we're going to get into the Brics nations, right? So it says the Brics is an intergovernmental organization comprising of 10 countries: Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, right? Iran, Russia, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates, right? It says the conceptual origins were what is that? Altercated by Russian Foreign Minister, all right, however you say his name, in 1998, and can be traced to informal forums and dialogue groups such as the RIC, right, as Russia, India, and China, right, and IBSA, India, Brazil, and South Africa, right. So as you can see, Russia, right, is Ezekiel 38. You see this playing out, not just it being a strategic move of a dollar centralization, right, or de-dollarization, right, Salakia, but as it coming together according to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, which is what you got. Russia is going to be a guard unto all these other little nations who are going to actually possess nuclear capabilities, right, and so on and so forth, who actually do, like India, right, which I did a video on military and defense on that, right, Egypt, Indonesia, right, and then you got the old USSR is going to end up coming back together as well, in a sense of, so to speak, which being Ukraine being a part of that 15 countries of the old USSR, right, in Lithuania and Libya and Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, all right, Slovakia, Maduvo, right, and there's a few others that I'm missing, all right, but they all were part of the old USSR, right. It says where we at? It says the brick. It says brick was originally coined by British economist Jim O'Neill and later championed by the employer Goldman Sachs, right, in 2001 to designate a group of emerging markets, right? So it says Brics, India 2026 logo of Brics during India's 2026 presidency, right? It says the first 5 member states' initials in English, okay? And as you can see, right, you read them down there. Right, it says the bloc's inaugural summit was held in 2009 and featured defining countries of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Right, you see, it says, and they adapted the acronym BRIC and formed an informal democratic club where their governments could meet annually at a formal summits and coordinate multilateral policies. South Africa joined the organization in September 2010, which was renamed BRICS and attended the third summit in 2011 as a full member. Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates, right? Right, it says Emirates. It says attended their first summit as a member states in 2024 in Russia. It says Indonesia officially joined in early 2025, becoming the first Southeast Asian member. The acronym BRICS or BRICS Plus has been informally used to reflect new membership in 2024. It says collectively, BRICS comprises more than a quarter of the global economic and nearly half of the world's population. It says BRICS has implemented incentives that could reform the global financial system, such as New Development Bank, right? The BRICS contingent, right, reserve arrangement, right? It says BRICS Pay in the BRICS Joint Strategical Publication. It says BRICS has also advanced de-dollarization to reduce the use of U.S. dollar and reserve currency. In its first 15 years, BRICS has established almost 60 intergroup institutions and an extensive network, including think tanks and dialogues. It says some commentators consider Brics the alternative to the G7 and a major political force in the global international order. It says others describe it as an incoherent affiliation, or despite countries centered on increasing anti-European and anti-American objectives. It says, nevertheless, the original 5 members and Indonesia, right, are also part of the G20. Brics has received both praise and criticism from numerous commentators and world leaders. All right. Okay, so let's go over here, right, real quick. Let's get a video. You know, we're gonna close up because we know Ezekiel 38 is right here in the midst of this thing, right? You see? I'm not gonna read it, but we seeing it play out. All right, I'm just giving you a rundown here. Okay, and I'm showing you that the de-dollarization, right? Okay, move, it says, right? So let's play this one.
India's central bank has just proposed something that could reshape how countries trade with each other. According to a Reuters report, the Reserve Bank of India wants BRICS nations to link their digital currencies. But what does this actually mean? Right now, when India trades with Brazil or Russia, payments often go through the US dollar and a system called SWIFT. It's slow, expensive, and gives America significant control.
These little countries like India and places like that are all going to possess what you call nuclear capabilities, as I made a video on India and their military and defense capabilities, which is backed by Russia, right? And they're creating things with Russia, as you can see. You see, so this is all Ezekiel 38 in the play.
India's proposal would create a direct digital highway between BRICS countries. The RBI has recommended this idea be placed on the agenda for the 2020
bypassing what America's International Monetary Fund, right, which is their money system has been dominant throughout the global world, right? And so what they're doing is they're saying, you know, what the hell with the United States petro or fiat currency, and we're going to move to our own and do our own thing.
6th BRICS Summit, which India will host later this year. If accepted, it will mark the first time BRICS formally considers linking members' digital currencies. BRICS includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, plus newer members like UAE, Iran, and Indonesia. Each country is developing its own central bank digital currency or CBDC. India has the e-rupee, which has around 7 million users. China has the digital yuan. These are government-backed digital versions of regular money. The proposal would connect these systems so countries could pay each other directly in their own currencies, bypassing the dollar.
As you can see, the Edomites over here in Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, right, has been moving in what you call a way of stealing resources, right, and so on and so forth, right, to forward their agenda of a new world order, their technocratical world, right? Now, as you know, that they're creating, right over here, the BRICS nations, their CBDCs and central bank digital currencies, right, which is going to be projected, right, as the same new world order across the global states, right, across the global country. You see, but just on their side of it, as them taking over and destabilizing the petro or fiat dollar, right?
Entirely. Why does this matter? It could make cross-border payments faster and cheaper. It reduces the dependence on the US dollar and the SWIFT network, and it gives countries more financial independence, especially important given rising geopolitical tensions and the use of sanctions as a political tool. But there are massive challenges ahead. None of the BRICS countries has fully launched a digital currency yet. They are all still running pilot projects. The technical hurdles are enormous. How do you make 5 different systems talk to each other? Who sets the rules? How do you handle trade imbalances when Russia sells more to India than India sells to Russia? Russia and India tried trading in local currencies before, and Russia ended up with huge piles of Indian rupees it couldn't use. The proposal builds on a 2025 Brics summit declaration in Rio de Janeiro that called for better payment system interoperability. Reuters reports that RBI is exploring solutions like bilateral currency swap arrangements between central banks and weekly or monthly settlements to manage imbalances. The US has warned against moves to bypass the dollar. President Trump has previously called Brics anti-American and threatened tariffs on members. This proposal could irritate Washington, which sees dollar dominance as a strategic power. India insists this isn't about de-dollarization. The RBI says that it's about efficiency, resilience, and modernizing payments. But the strategic implications are hard to ignore. Brics countries represent 45% of the world's population and 35% of the global GDP. Experts say that a fully functioning alternative to the dollar system is probably decades away, if achievable at all. But it does signal a shift towards a more multipolar financial order where emerging economies have alternatives. India's proposal is ambitious but faces a long, uncertain road. Whether it becomes reality or joins the list of unrealized Brics ambitions remains to be seen. For more news and updates, keep watching Live Mint.
All right, so with that, I'm going to say shalom.